My name is Jeff Boyer. I am a professor at the Sarasota campus of Everglades University. I teach primarily in the alternative and renewable energy program here at Everglades. I've been here for about 8 years, and I've taught classes in a variety of energy-related topics. I kind of came to this career, if you will, of energy by accident. Back in 5th grade, I started out being interested in chemistry. My teacher really got me excited about that science. And I thought it was fascinating that we could explain things we couldn't see with the concepts of the atom and electrons and protons and neutrons and so forth. And it was very interesting to play in the lab because you got to make things change. You got foam, you got bubbles, you got fire, you got all sorts of really interesting things. So chemistry really was an exciting field for me. And when I graduated high school, I did go and I studied chemistry and got a 4-year degree in that. My first job out of school was teaching for the Navy. I taught chemistry and radiological controls to naval personnel. But along the way, I decided that I needed to know more about engineering, more about things that I could see. I need to understand more about not how things I couldn't see, but how things I could see happen. So I got a degree in mechanical engineering and then went on to do several assignments within the support program for the Navy. At some point, I decided it was time to try to go into working for the civilian sector rather than for the military. And I went to work for a company that was developing and marketing fuel cells. So a fuel cell is a way to convert the energy stored in hydrogen gas and convert that into electricity. My initial work there was developing fuel cells and fuel cell systems for transportation applications. So I had the opportunity to work with General Motors and Volvo and a couple of other companies trying to come up with concepts that might be put into a car that would then use hydrogen and reduce the emissions from the use of those vehicles. The company ultimately decided a few years later to get out of the transportation business for a number of reasons and focus on residential applications, where the idea was to build a system that was maybe the size of a dishwasher, and we could put that at your house and you could make electricity at your house as you needed it, rather than having to buy electricity from a utility that is shipped to you via these overhead cables and the electric grid. I spent several years there working on product design, working with marketing, working with finance, trying to come up with ideas for how to make these products that would be economically feasible, reliable, safe, and durable. At some point, the company shifted gears, and I went off to work for the State University of New York, where I was responsible for developing programs in batteries for low-cost, high-performance applications such as a Tesla vehicle, and also to look at means of making solar cells that were less expensive, longer life, and maybe more efficient in terms of converting sunlight to electricity. So I've had this career involved with energy from the time I left my undergraduate degree until I came to Everglades University. It's been quite a ride. I've really enjoyed a lot of it, or most of it, I should say, and I'm glad I did it. It was not a plan. It was by accident, but when I look at all the piece parts that I did, I was able to assemble a very nice set of skills that can relate to a variety of different applications with respect to energy production and energy usage. So the education along the way, as I said, I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I ended up getting a master's degree in mechanical engineering. I also got a master of business administration when I was working for the fuel cell company, because I was intimately involved with the finance and the marketing of the products we were developing, which meant that I needed more experience in understanding how to do some of those things. I developed marketing plans for a couple of products. I had the opportunity to develop models, quantitative models that would allow us to predict the costs of our products so that we could build those into our business plan, and we could predict using that information the profitability of the company. While I was there, I also had the opportunity to take some courses in sustainability and system dynamics, which is a set of tools to model, to predict sustainable systems and sustainable behaviors. So I had a chance to add that to my bag of tools. I also got a professional engineering license along the way. That I haven't used as much as I would have thought. I haven't really gone into consulting to a point where I would need that, but it is a nice thing to have. But it's been really quite a fun ride, and I really enjoy my job now. But I've enjoyed my job along the way for a number of reasons. One, always looking for trying to solve new problems. One of the things I like is the ability to take information from different sources, different places, different disciplines, put them together to solve some new problem. Something that might work for this particular discipline or application might actually work for a problem that I'm trying to solve, but wouldn't necessarily be intuitively obvious based on normal studies and experiences. So that's one of the things I like. I also find that I really like to be hands-on. I like to work in the lab. I like to see how things work. I like to turn knobs and things of that sort to kind of understand how my systems and my components operate, how they work, how they respond to operating condition changes or storage condition changes or things of that nature. As you can tell, I've had a number of different jobs. I've been a scientist, I've been an engineer, I've been a manager, I've been a leader, I've been a teacher. So I've done a number of different roles using my science and engineering background to support that. So you can tell perhaps that I tend to find interest in a lot of different things. And one of the things that I've found interest in recently is here at Everglades University at the Sarasota campus, we have an aquaponics system. An aquaponics system is a system that has a tank in which fish live, and the fish waste that's put into the water is flowed through a filter where bacteria live. The bacteria convert the fish waste, the ammonia in the fish waste, to nitrate. The nitrate then is passed on to several tanks where plants are located, where plants live. So that feeds the plants. It's fascinating to me, and it's something that if you had asked me or anybody had asked me or told me a couple of years ago, hey, you're going to be working on an aquaponics system, I probably would have not understood because I don't know much about fish. I have learned that the aquaponics system is not the same as running an aquarium, but aquaculture, I've had to learn some of that. So again, it's an opportunity to use a lot of different things that I've learned along the way, which I think, looking back at what I've done for the last few years, I've had the opportunity to really take things I learned back in 5th grade, apply them to my undergraduate years. Things I learned there, I can apply to some of my early jobs, and yet I can still apply them to things I do today. And that, I think, is probably one of the things that I would recommend or suggest is, doesn't matter what field, but it will talk about energy. Just because you're not doing a certain task or working on a certain system or certain materials or certain components today doesn't mean that what you did with them 10 years ago or 15 years ago or what have you is no longer relevant. And you build on all of that. And if you build on all the things you've learned, and you build on the knowledge that you have and the wisdom you've gained from your experiences, you become more valuable to your employer. You open up opportunities to try new jobs, new career paths that you might not have thought about in the past. And in my case, it gave me the opportunity to come here and teach. So whatever path you take, think about what your strengths are now, if you haven't already done so. See if do you like playing with tools? Do you like working with tools and with your hands? Or are you more comfortable spending a lot of time thinking and pondering a problem and being more mental rather than physical in your approach to solving it, and go from there. Other than that, I don't have much more to add. I hope that this gave you some insight into how I've gotten to where I am today. So I wish you luck in your career choices and what you pursue. I hope that you find the topic, the subject matter, the discipline that becomes a passion. That way you will enjoy it, and you will really have the opportunity to make a difference for your employer as well as for yourself.